Hello everyone, welcome back to Gospel News. Information reaching us now says that there is anxiety as the Presidential Election Tribunal hears P2B and Atiku's petition today. No be small matter. Ona go hear in full what Atiku Abubakar is telling the tribunal and what P2B is telling the tribunal as well. Which means that Tinubu's inauguration, no, they looking like that to say the thing, fee no hold. Because of the way things are going. They are going to hear the matter today. The Presidential Election Tribunal begins sitting. Ahead of that, here there is a review of the prayers that candidates are seeking the court to grant, which is Mr. P2B and Atiku Abubakar of the PDP. P2B is of the Labour Party, representing the Labour Party in the presidential election, while Tinubu rigged P2B hands down. Atiku is also seeking for a redress in court that he also won. So this might lead to a fresh presidential election if care is not taken, because all eyes are on the election tribunal, the court, the Supreme Court, to decide final who won and what next to do. Matter don't cast to Tinubu is in serious panic as I speak to you now. Now, they say that the Presidential Election Tribunal will begin hearing of the petitions filed before it by aggrieved opposition parties against the election of the President-elect, Bola Tinubu, today, Monday, 8th of May. Recall that following the declaration of Tinubu of the All Progressive Congress, APC, as winner of the February 25th presidential election, some candidates who were defeated in the race, they said defeated here, will I say rigged out. Somebody like P2B was massively rigged out of his actual vote. So the vote didn't actually count. That's why they went to court to say, no, we need a redress, alleging that the election was rigged in favor of the ruling party, which is what I've been saying here. Daily Post records that Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, his Labour Party counterpart, P2B, and others had approached the tribunal to upturn Tinubu's victory on the grounds of substantial non-compliance with the provisions of the Constitution. The Electoral Act and the guidelines of the Independent National Electoral Commission, which is INEC, was failed for the conduct of the polls. Atiku, a former vice president who hinged his petition on 5 grounds, is asking the court to order the electoral body to conduct a fresh election following alleged irregularities at polling units during the presidential poll. Voila for Tinubu. Atiku and his party are saying that Tinubu was declared the winner of the election when all results and accreditation data from polling units were yet to be transmitted and uploaded by INEC. P2B, a former Anambra governor, is also alleging various irregularities in the conduct of the election, insisting that Tinubu and his running mate, Senator Kashim Shettima, were not qualified to contest. Wahala, double wahala for the body. Tinubu, wahala when you face, I hope so you go feel survive them, because this one, you don't pass Gary. As it is now, they say may they disqualify you. Another one, say may they no even, grant you this position of presidency on the 29th of May. Obi also said that Tinubu failed to win the majority of lawful votes and was unable to garner 1/4 of votes in the Federal Capital Territory, which is FCT. Daily Post reports that during the pre-hearing session today, court is expected to provide a full timetable for hearing and substantive petitions filed against the president-elect at the election tribunal. Meanwhile, the Minister of State for Labor and Employment, Festus Keyamo, had alleged that some foreign lawyers had been flown into the country to stop Tinubu's inauguration on May 29th. I told you people that on Sunday, being the 7th of May. Also, a chieftain of the ruling party, Femi Fani-Kayode, alleged in a tweet that former President Olusegun Obasanjo contracted foreign lawyers for Peter Obi. In a jeering tweet, the former aviation minister captioned the video when Peter Obi heard that the Russian lawyer that Obi had procured for him to represent him at the Election Petition Tribunal was no longer coming. Poor tired soul, please pray for him. However, Dr. Unisa Salisu Tanko, chief spokesperson, Labour Party Presidential Campaign Council, is in the already concluded election told Daily Post on Sunday that members of Obi's legal team are all Nigerians. He said, as far as I know, the lawyers are all Nigerians. I have not seen any foreign lawyer in the legal team. He expressed optimism at the outcome of the process, insisting that the party's candidate will be making presentations that cannot be faulted. From what we are presenting to the court, we are very optimistic that they cannot find fault in our presentation, he added. So Wahala don't boss out for Peter and for Tinubu as I speak to you. Then they drag him from left, right, and center. And even his health is also dragging him from the middle. So Tinubu, can you survive all this? Why not drop this pikin something and run away from there? As you don't old, so you for just relax. They chop the money where you don't get already. But for we are Loriro, you won't just make sure, say on that 29, may them swear I'm in. Even if only that day they swear I'm in, he doesn't mind. May his name day for one of the president of Nigeria. Now waiting Tinubu they find be that. Make I play on the video update of what's going on. And the request that P2B and Atiku Abubakar are praying the court to grant today at the election tribunal. Hear this from this video. Let's go there.
Tribunal is now set to begin hearing of the petitions challenging the declaration of the All Progressives Congress candidate, Senator Bola Tinubu, as the president-elect. The expected legal battle by the presidential candidates of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, the Labour Party, Peter Obi, and some other parties disputing the outcome of this year's presidential poll will commence from May the 8th. This next report takes a look at the grounds of the candidates and the prayers they are asking the court to grant.
The presidential election held on February 25, 2023 is one that has generated several reactions, especially against the background of the provision of the Electoral Act 2022. The candidates of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Atiku Abubakar, the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, and the Action Alliance rejected the outcome of the exercise as declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Thank you. Their prayers are quite similar. Mr. Peter Obi and the Labour Party is praying the court for the following. The tribunal should cancel the election and compel INEC to conduct a fresh one, at which time President-elect Tinubu, elect Tima, and the APC will not participate. The tribunal should declare that President-elect Tinubu was not duly elected by a majority of the lawful votes cast during the election. The tribunal should order INEC to retrieve the certificate of return issued to President-elect Tinubu and issue a fresh one to Mr. Peter Obi. The petitioners asserted that the election was marred by rigging and manipulation, and INEC violated its own regulations when it announced the results when at the time of the announcement, the total polling unit results had yet to be fully scanned, uploaded, and transmitted electronically as required by the Electoral Act. Mr. Peter Obi particularly says President-elect Tinubu was not qualified to contest at the time of the election. They also prayed the tribunal to declare that President-elect Tinubu was not duly elected by a majority of the lawful votes cast at the election. Just like Mr. Peter Obi, Mr. Atiku Abubakar and the PDP are asking the tribunal to declare him winner of the presidential election, or alternatively order a rerun between him, Mr. Atiku Abubakar, and the president-elect, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. In the alternative, he wants the entire election nullified and a fresh one conducted. The petition also says that President-elect Tinubu was not duly elected by a majority of lawful votes cast at the election, and at the time of the election, was not qualified to contest the election. They also pray in the court for the following: determining that the president-elect was not duly elected by the majority of lawful votes cast in the election, and therefore the declaration and return of him by INEC as the winner of the presidential election is unlawful, wrong, unconstitutional, and of no effect whatsoever. Determined that the return of President-elect Tinubu by INEC was unlawful, having not satisfied the requirements of the Electoral Act 2022 and the 1999 Constitution as amended, which mandatorily requires that he scores nothing less than 1/4, 25% of the lawful votes cast at the election in at least 2/3 of all the states in the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. Determining that President-elect Tinubu was, at the time of the election, not qualified to contest the said election. Determining that Mr. Atiku Abubakar, having scored the majority of lawful votes cast at the presidential election, be returned as the winner of the said election and be sworn in as the duly elected President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In the alternative, however, they're asking the court for an order directing INEC to conduct a second election, a runoff, between President-elect Tinubu and Mr. Atiku Abubakar. In a further alternative, that the election to the office of the President of Nigeria held on 25th February 2023 be nullified and a fresh election rerun be ordered. However, the All Progressives Congress, in its replies, asked the Presidential Election Petition Court to dismiss the petitions filed by the opposition parties. It described the petition filed by Mr. Atiku Abubakar victory as a gross abuse of court process. Responding to Mr. Obi's petition in a preliminary objection, President-elect Tinubu filed alongside his Vice President-elect. They maintained that the Labour Party's candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, lacked the right to challenge the election victory. He argued that Mr. Peter Obi was not validly nominated to contest the presidential election, in line with the mandatory provisions of Section 77, Subsection 2 and Subsection 3 of the Electoral Act 2022. He insists that Mr. Peter Obi's name was not found in the register of members of the Labour Party, noting that he defected to the party from the PDP less than 30 days before the primary election that produced him as a presidential candidate was conducted. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is asking the tribunal to dismiss or strike out the petitions filed by Mr. Peter Obi and Mr. Atiku Abubakar. INEC says the relief sought by Mr. Peter Obi and his party are not grantable as they were grossly incompetent, abusive, vague, non-specific, ambiguous, and academic. The Electoral Commission also says Mr. Atiku Abubakar did not meet the constitutional requirements to be declared winner of the election. INEC adds that the election was conducted in substantial compliance with the Electoral Act 2022 and was not marred by any corrupt practices. It argues that a candidate must not secure 25% of votes in the FCT to be declared the winner. As the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal gets ready to begin proceedings, members of the panel are charged to uphold its tenets of integrity, professionalism, and the rule of law.
All right, guys, when I don't see matter, when I don't see how the thing they go now. So this is a very serious clash in the tribunal today. Let's see how it plays out. And I expect you to drop your comments below. Let me know what is going to happen today. But with the way things are going, Atiku and Peter Obi seems to be asking for the same thing against one person. So INEC and Tinubu are together, while Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar are seeking for similar redress in court. Let's see who will win this battle. Today should at least be the final. There should be no adjournment, at least, to be able to finalize before the, what did they call them, inauguration date. So we will know the final verdict. But do you think that Peter Obi or Atiku Abubakar can get justice from the court? Let me know through the comment section. I'll see you guys on the next update. Remain blessed and God bless you.